Hello and welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Have you ever trawled through device logs and saw logs timestamped in the year 1993? Or perhaps have you been asked which devices are using a certain NTP server? In today's video, we are going to use NetAPI to validate what NTP servers are configured on all devices and report their compliance.
We will use a simple Python script to print the compliance results out to the screen.
Firstly, let's look at the API endpoint which we'll be using. Under the NAPALM tag, we will use nr napalm NTP servers all to retrieve all NTP servers on all nor-near hosts. In my particular lab environment, I have multiple vendors, so Napalm is an excellent choice for this use case.
In my particular environment, I have Cisco NXOS, Juniper Junos, Cisco IOS, and Arista EOS devices.
Okay, let's run the script and see what happens. This script has a helper menu, so let's start with that. Okay, this script takes one optional argument, which is the debug flag. It is set to false by default. So let's run this script. Please note that this script can take a little while to run, given that it needs to connect to multiple devices on the back end. So we'll just have to be a little bit patient. In particular, I have an old device within my network that takes a while to run on.
Okay, everything else looks compliant except for one particular device which appears to be having an issue. So the other compliant devices is Lab Arista 01, Lab Arista 02, Lab CSR 01, Lab Junos 01, and Lab NXOS 01. Let's have a look at DFJDR0001, which is a Cisco IOS device.
This device isn't compliant with what we are expecting. So let's go and clean up that old entry. Come over to the router and remove the entry. Okay, let's run the script again. However, this time let's turn the debug flag on. Again, as I said before, we're going to have to be a little bit patient whilst we wait for this to run. Okay, so scrolling back through here, we can see the API call that was made, the response code, the raw text, and we can now see that all our NTP servers are compliant on all devices. I'll point you to this particular entry here, which is present on Lab Arista 01, and you'll notice that it has the NTP server and the prefer option configured next to it. So let's go over to the code. This code and all the other examples within the NetAPI tools repository has detailed comments throughout the code. It should be pretty easy to understand, but if you have any questions, please let me know. So the parts that you will need to change for your environment is the URL on line 40 and your list of allowed NTP servers on line 44. Essentially what the script is doing is running through and making an API call and then retrieving JSON data similar to what is provided below. Then for each host in these results, it's iterating over the list of NTP servers. It's grabbing those values out, and if it finds prefer on the end of a particular value, as shown here, it uses the Python rstrip or write-strip command to strip that prefer off. The reason we want to do this is we want to do an exact list comparison for the particular values. So if we have a look over here, you'll notice that this particular value is 10.0.0.1 prefer. However, down below, the prefer seems to have been removed. Finally, we will do the list comparison as mentioned before, and if it's all successful, we'll print it to the screen, and if it's not successful, we'll print it to the screen as well. That concludes today's video. In today's video, we used NAPALM powered by NetAPI to validate NTP servers over multiple devices on multiple operating systems. This script and others can be found at the NetAPI Tools repository, where a list of examples have been made to spark your imagination for your needs. You're always welcome to contribute to this repo with examples of your own. Thanks for taking the time to learn more about NetAPI, and I hope that this video has been useful. Bye for now.